Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montavilla Sewing Center, and today we're talking about the Bernette B05 Academy. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make buttonholes with this machine. Now right now it's set up for straight stitching, so I'm going to show you what you need to set it up for buttonholes. To start out with, take out your buttonhole foot. It looks like this, and you push this end up here where it has the little button, and you put your button in there. That's going to help the machine to know how long to make your buttonhole right there. Okay, so let's switch this out. Take our other foot, put that down there, accessories, and put this down in here. Now when you start, you're going to want to have, you always want to have your thread under the foot, right? So before I've even set it up into buttonholes, I'm going to take my piece of scrap fabric and take one stitch. Now one complete stitch is where this ends up at the top. Then I pull my fabric out and see how that just pulls that thread right through. And it's just a single stitch, so it just came right out. I'm going to cut these thread tails like that. Okay, when you're sewing a buttonhole, you want to have sufficient layers. So either use interfacing like this, and that's the standard way of doing it, but there's another way to make buttonholes, and that's with your fabric, where you're actually using your fabric in 3 layers. And I've seen nice dress shirts made this way, where they use a 3rd layer for the button placket. Now on your collars and cuffs, you're going to want to use interfacing. Okay, and then you want to mark your buttonhole using appropriate marking pen. I like to make sure that my marks are small enough that the stitches will cover them up. But you want your center line, and then you just need your beginning line right there. That's all you need, because the machine will know how long to make your buttonhole. And then start out with your threads off to the right. The reason for that is if you had a shirt that you're making, the body of the shirt's going to be over here. So it makes sense to have your thread tails where there's no fabric. Okay, so we set up our machine. We want the widest stitch width right here. We want to put this into buttonhole right there. Move it like that. You can have your buttonhole be denser or looser, the stitches, depending on where you put it between 1 and 0. Then we want to do our stitch selector right here on buttonhole. Then the last part is to pull down right behind your needle threader is going to be another lever. You pull that down, and that has a buttonhole on it. That's the buttonhole lever. To get started, make sure you push that towards the back. That tells the machine you're at the beginning of a buttonhole. Then put your fabric under there, and it does help to lift up your presser foot a little bit, because there's these little grippies on the bottom of your buttonhole foot, where you can kind of tilt it forward like that. Now what we want to have is that long line that's going to be down the center of the buttonhole. We want to have that long line be right in the middle. There's a indentation on your, I'll show you right there, indentation on the foot, and there's also a little dip in the plastic there, so we want to have that. And then the short latitudinal line, we want to have that even with these marks right here. Also make sure that the side of your presser foot is parallel to the side of the fabric. Okay, so we've got this started, and that's good to make sure, double check, because each time you do another buttonhole, you're going to need to push that back again to let the machine know you're at the beginning. So to start with, hang on to your threads, give it a couple stitches, and then you don't need to hang on to your threads past that. So it starts out by making a bar tack, and then towards the back. And you see, I don't even really need to hold the fabric. Now if I had a big shirt, I'd want to make sure it's supported a little bit, just so that it doesn't end up dragging or anything like that. But it's basically the machine does all the work for you. Now when you get to the end there, it's just going to stop. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't automatically stop it. You just need to take your foot off the foot control, but it's not going to go past the end of that bar tack. So at that point, once it's made a few stitches into that bar tack, you need to stop with your, it just happened to stop with the take up lever up, take your fabric out of here, And cut your thread so that you have extra thread, because what you're going to need to do is take your threads to the back, tie them off to make a knot. And then take your seam ripper and cut right along that center. Now this buttonhole looks like those stitches are a little too far apart. So what I would do for my next buttonhole is move this a little bit more towards 0. That's going to make it a little bit tighter. You don't want it right on 0 or else it's not going to actually move along. Another thing that you can do if you want to have an extra strong buttonhole is go around it twice. Just remember, you need to push that back when you start again. So that's how to make buttonholes on the Bernette Academy B05. I hope this has been a helpful video, and if it has, give us a thumbs up. And if you have comments or questions, you can leave those in the area down below. We have lots of other videos on this machine and on other machines here on a Montavilla YouTube channel. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching today. Bye.